This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
At Capella University, you can learn at your own pace with our FlexPath learning format. Take 1 or 2 courses at a time and complete as many as you can in a 12-week billing session. With FlexPath, you can even finish the bachelor's degree you started in 22 months for $20,000. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu. Fastest 25% of students. Cost varies by pace, transfer credits, and other factors. Fees apply.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the founder of the Food Truck Training Group on Facebook, co-owner with my beautiful wife, Melissa, of our own food truck. It's called Food Truck 101, and I'm the executive director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about money. Earlier this week, I talked about getting money to start your business and the different ways that you could do that. Now, I'm going to talk about the other side of money, and that is, how do I keep my business afloat? I get people asking me all the time, Bill, I'm in trouble. I'm going to close next month, next week, 6 months from now because I don't have enough income coming in. How do we fix that? Well, I have talked about marketing many times. And one of the precedents to marketing is you got to have your internal operations correct and stellar. And what I mean by that is you've got to have, the food has got to be amazing, over-the-top food. Your service has to be fast and friendly. It has to have that pairing, fast and friendly. Now, there are many food trucks out there that will say that people will wait on good food. People will wait because you have their money. If you honestly believe that people will wait on good food, then take their order, but do not collect the money until you deliver the food. Let's see how brave you really are. And let's see how committed you are to that philosophy of people will wait on good food. So take the order, tell them your total is going to be $25 and I will come collect when I bring you the food. Now, you'll shock a bunch of people when you do that, but you'll also have a whole bunch of food that you can't deliver to anybody because they will have left because you're too slow. People come to a food truck not because it's there. They come to a food truck because they're hungry. And they have an unwritten expectation of, it should only take me 10 minutes to get my food. They will look at the line and go, ooh, I'm hungry now. That line's long. I think I'll go somewhere else. People do that all the time. How do I know that? Because I've worked at a whole bunch of places where you can see people pull into your parking lot and they want to go through the drive-thru and they'll see too many cars in line and they will leave your parking lot. And that's because they have judged that the number of cars in line is longer than they are willing to wait. Food truck owners don't do that because, number one, they don't have people out on the lot looking and saying, hey, this guy got up to the line, looked at it, and left. Food truck owners are inside the truck and they got their head down cooking or cashiering or doing something, so they don't pay attention to the people that get to the end of the line and say, that's too many people. I got to go somewhere else because I'm hungry now. Then once you establish the reputation of being slow, they don't even go to you unless they have time to waste. But I love hearing that argument. Bill, they love my food. They tell me all the time. No. What they tell you is you have satisfied their hunger, and those endorphins are not letting them be rude because that's counterintuitive to what the endorphins are doing. The body was hungry, and now the brain has got some food, so it releases all these endorphins, so the body is happy because it's been fed. So it can't be mean and hateful because there's too many good endorphins running around. That's why people wait till you take a bite or two of your food. Give the stomach a signal that, hey, we're being fed. So now we're not grumpy anymore. Those endorphins that are released, you go out and ask them, how was the food and service? They're going to say it's awesome. Typically, if it wasn't awesome, they haven't eaten. They've stopped taking bites and now they're grumpy. But most food truck owners don't look at the science of service. All they look at is the math of money. So how do you bring more money in? Stellar food, stellar service. It's got to be there. If it's not, you will eventually go out of business, or you're just a hobbyist and you'll never grow beyond one food truck. And that's okay. If that's all you want to do is make a little extra money every weekend, that's fine. But don't give advice to other people, because what you're doing is you're hurting other people that really want to make this a business, that really want to make this a lifestyle, to have a second and third and fourth food truck. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about how do you get more people coming in. So good food, good service is a start. Then you got to market, which is just an invitation to please come try my food. How do you market? First thing you got to look at is you got to have some place for people to find out about you. Google My Business or whatever they're calling it now, because they seem to change the name every couple of months. But being on Google, and yes, there's ways for you to be able to be on Google as a food truck that moves, but you got to be there so that people can find you. The next thing you got to do, besides Google My Business or whatever Google's calling it, you got to have a website that you can control, that you don't have to worry about making somebody mad, some CEO, some social media platform that gets mad because of your political leanings or the way that you talk to people. So you want to have that website you own that can send people that they can look at your menu and learn a little bit about you. Doesn't have to be a fancy website. It can be one single page. Here's our menu, and then here's a little bit about our business. That's all you need. You need to look at your social media as an on-ramp. I went to dinner last night with Warren Nash. He's one of the founders of the POS system that's called Easy Eats. Great guy. Took me out to dinner, and he talked about social media being an on-ramp to send people where you want them to go. And I wish I'd have thought of that, because he's right. Facebook. I tell people to be on Facebook. You got to be there. But the problem with Facebook is it skews older people. So the younger people may never find you on Facebook. So you got to be on the platform they like, whether it be TikTok or Instagram or whatever platform is popular with that demographic. You got to be there. Because here's the thing. Facebook's been around long enough that older people are on it. I'm old. I'm on it. I like Facebook. I don't care for the video nonsense and the quick edits that they do on these video platforms. But other people do. Everyone eats. Unless you plan on just only serving old people like me, you're going to have to be on other platforms. And then use them as an on-ramp. They found you on their favorite platform, which I have talked about in the past. They found you on their favorite platform, and your platform sends them to your Facebook, sends them to your website where you can control what's going on. So no matter where they find you, you have that little recipe that you on TikTok. Don't have to show your face. Don't have to dance around like an idiot. All you got to do is show them this is how we make a hamburger. This is how we make whatever your stellar product is. You don't have to give the exact amounts. You can just show, we take this little bowl of seasoning, we throw it in here, and then we mix it up with our hands, then we patty it out, and then we put it on the grill, then we flip it, and then we put it on a bun, we toast the bun. You're just going through the steps. Something visual they can watch. And the whole time it's got a link to your website where they can get an interest in having watched you make something on the video, and now they're going to go to the website to see how much it costs. That's marketing, but you got to be on social media, and you got to advertise on social media. You don't have to spend money. You can just put out those videos every day. You can put out scheduled content. Content needs to be mostly about your food. Then it's got to be a little bit about where you're going to be. And then it's got to be a little bit about who you are as a person, so that you're not just constantly showing pictures of food. Hey, I'm at 5th and Main, come eat. Because effectively it becomes a dinner bell that people will ignore. Social media, got to be there. You got to take advantage of it. Figure out where the on-ramp is for your area and the demographic that you have. But the on-ramp is just social media that's leading into your website, where you want them to see your menu and be able to place an order. So if you don't have the online ordering ability, you need to get it. It's 2025. You need to be updated. You want to expand your business, you're going to have to market. You're going to have to get yourself out there. But it's not all just social media. You've got to physically go around and talk to people. If you're consistent in where you set up, say you set up at a brewery once a month, once a week even, go talk to the businesses that are around there and let them know. So for example, my favorite food truck is going to be at a brewery today. It's called the Last Stop Brew Vault in Defuniak Springs, Florida. My favorite food truck is Rising Swine. He sells amazing pork belly tacos. Love them. Every time he's in town, I go there. I will be going there at some point today. The owner does two things amazing. He is super friendly. As soon as you walk up, he is super friendly. It's not just to me, because he knows who I am. Obviously, I've eaten there a bunch. But I listen to him talk to other people, and he has the exact same tone of voice. How you doing today? What can I get for you? And then he answers their questions if they talk about his food. He directs them to whatever it is that he has on special that day or what he's wanting to sell. And then he takes the order and makes it. He's a one-man operation, and he is rather fast at what he does. But you don't feel rushed when he's talking to you. I've watched him many times when I've come up and place an order and then just stand back and watch. And I'm mentally trying to follow what he's doing cooking, and I'm thinking, okay, you need to hurry up. You need to hurry up and get through this order. But he doesn't rush it. It doesn't feel rushed. And then the food comes out and it's like, man, that should be burnt, and it's not. He knows what he's doing. You need to be the same expert at your own operation, and you need to be able to take those orders sounding super friendly, super excited that people are there, without them feeling like, oh my God, he's just trying to move me through the line, without them feeling rushed. All about operations, just like I started this with. Stellar food, stellar service. Now, what he has been doing much better, Melissa's been getting on to him all the time about posting, when are you going to be and where are you going to be? And he's done a great job here the last month or so about getting his social media active. And we've been noticing just a slight uptick. Every time you post, he's starting to get more and more interactions. So it's all about letting people know, number one, where you're going to be. Even if you feel like no one's reading it, they are. Now, they'll stop the scroll and look at it when, okay, there's my favorite food truck. Where are they going to be today? And hopefully it's nearby because they stop the scroll and then they go check you out. But if you don't let them know where you're going to be, you're not going to be on their mind at all. So you got to be on that social media. You've got to, again, physically let people know where you're going to be. So I talked about the Last Stop Brew Vault. It's in downtown Defuniak. It's actually towards the end of the downtown. So there's a lot of residents around it, but there are also a lot of businesses. And somebody that's going to be there, say next Monday, and they're there last Monday, probably should be reminding people either before their shift starts or at the end of their shift, hey, I'm going to be back next week. Here's something you can put up in your window, let people know I'm going to be here. Here's a discount for you. Come down and see me. That kind of thing. You have to talk to people. You got to act like you're a politician. You got to be friendly. You got to be outgoing, and you got to let people know where you're going to be. That's all marketing is an invitation to please come try my food, but you got to say it over and over and over. The reason I'm going to go down to the Last Stop Brew Vault today is because the owner of Rise and Swine let us know he's going to be in town. It was on his social media. We were able to stalk him and now know he's going to be here. So he's going to get the opportunity to sell something to at least us today. But had he not put that on social media, on Sundays I typically don't go anywhere. But today, because he's in town, I'm going to go and get some food. So that's all from social media. That's all from marketing. Marketing is not one and done. I wish it was. We spend $1,000 and never have to spend $1,000 again on marketing. It doesn't work that way. There are literally hundreds of food trucks vying for guests' business, not counting every single fast food, every single fast casual, which is like Ruby Tuesdays and the sit-down restaurants, every single grocery store that has a deli in it that sells sandwiches, every single convenience store that is selling chicken or other sandwiches, whether they be prepared there inside the convenience store or they just have them prepackaged and brought in. There is literally competition everywhere for people to eat. So you as a small business, and it's not only small as in terms of sales volume, but also small as in footprint, they're not going to remember you unless you remind them every single day. Getting into the food truck business is not just learning how to cook and being done with it. Throwing open the window and you're busy. You got to market. You absolutely have to market. If you want to learn how to market and market well, 2 people that I recommend you follow. And these are food trucks. Just mimic what they do in your area. One is Eggman ATX. They're out of Austin, Texas. They sell breakfast sandwiches. They're only open a handful of hours a day, 5 days a week. The owner has gotten to the point where he no longer works on the food truck. He does marketing full time to drive sales to the food truck and has hired a manager to run the food truck for him. He's going to be expanding his business here shortly. He will now have 2 food trucks, and he has a grand vision for the number of food trucks he wants to have in Austin, Texas, and then in the U.S. And I believe he can do it because he markets and he sells a great product, and they are super fast with their service. They are always talking as a team about speed of service, quality, keeping the facility, the food truck clean. Every day they have a crew meeting, and he has more employees than some fast food restaurants that Melissa and I have ran. It's all about marketing. The other people that you need to follow, they started with a single food truck. They just opened their brick and mortar within the last month or so, and they're going to keep the food truck, or food trailers, what they have actually, and that brick and mortar. They're in their 5th season, I believe. They're in Canada. The Food truck was only open 6 months a year, and they've already turned it into a brick and mortar. They've won numerous awards, and they sell burgers. Okay, so we talked about breakfast, we're talking about burgers. And that particular food truck is called Pearson Street Smash Burgers and Melts. And again, they're in Canada. They're right outside of Ottawa. 5th season. Eggman is starting his 2nd season. All kind of food trucks out there are successful. And they don't have to be successful selling the fancy things like pork belly tacos, which are amazing. So I'm going to go there today. Smash burgers. I love smash burgers. And I've sold literally tens of thousands of burgers over the years, having worked for Wendy's and Hardee's and McDonald's and Burger King. So I know burgers pretty well. We sell burgers on our food truck. So when I go to a place, I judge them based on that staple. Sometimes they impress me and sometimes they don't. The last burger that I got from a food truck, it was about 18 months ago. I talked about it on the podcast a while back. The burger, they bragged about, we do bistro. Okay, well, let's see what that means to you. Comes out in a styrofoam container, which, okay, I'll deal with that. I don't care one way or the other. It was sloppily, and I do mean very sloppily put together, and was nothing spectacular at all. At all. It was actually bad. And they're not in business anymore. They have long since shut down. So it comes back to you got to have good food, good service. Then you invite people in. Very simple concept. Marketing never ends. So every single day you need to be talking on your social media. Every single day you need to have something scheduled if you want to take a day off to where you're not on social media all the time. So then plot out the week, schedule stuff, and take a day off. It's okay. You're allowed to be off. But there's still stuff being posted without you actually physically pushing the button in real time. So don't give up. If you feel like the money coming into your food truck is just not enough, the answer is market. But before you market, you got to have stellar food and stellar service, because everyone else around you probably has good food and good service. Yours has got to be better than good. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding everything helpful that we do, please consider subscribing. If you love what we do, there's a link in the description to show some support. Every little bit does help keep us going. Until next time, you guys have a profitable week.